So it's raining today, so I couldn't get the Miata outside because it don't have the back glass or whatever in it, and so I couldn't let the IS300 down. So I gotta stop and get fuel on the way home. Anyway, I didn't get all the stuff I wanted done here on the IS300. I did get the oil change to put the new oil in it. I did get the 5-lug bolts stuck in. I didn't put the wheels on it because we're gonna get some tires changed tomorrow. Got a lot to do tomorrow. The shop is a wreck. I mean, there's tires piled everywhere. There's a fuel cell. I'm hitting a ladder while I'm sitting here trying to show you. I mean, I've got a ladder here to get onto the end of the car to put oil in it. The bash bar's over there. Had a shop vac to clean all the mess out of the motor where I cleaned the head gasket out of that thing. There's a busted radiator piled here. There's tires behind that thing. There's a seat. Actually, Ezra, the guy in the silver 370, he gave me a 350Z seat because I was debating on maybe doing a different platform on a different car. I like the Z, was more comfortable to me, and so he had an extra 350Z seat, and I'm going to try to put it in the G35 and see if I like how it sits any better. So he did give me that, thanks Ezra for the seat, but he did give me both of them, the passenger seat too. So I can take the new leather seats that I got from the damaged G35, and I can save them. So if I ever sold this car, I can put some really nice seats in this car. I'm debating on, one of the things that's hindering me is being comfortable in the car. That's probably my biggest concern right now, is I'm getting slung all over the place, and I'm going to have to buy a seat, I think. But before I do buy a seat, and decide to make any other decisions, I wanted to run the 350Z seat, and if it sets any lower, or if I can figure out how to make it set any lower, that will allow me to, that comfort that I'm looking for, because the helmet's touching the roof, and it's just right on the corner, so when you open the sunroof, my head's like kind of on a 45, 6'2", I don't know what else to do about it. So it being uncomfortable, I got the harnesses kind of where I want them now. I did get those a little more comfortable. I fooled around and I think I got it figured out how I like those. But it still sets way too high for me, and I can't get comfortable in the car. So driving the car the whole time, I'm fighting inside the cab of the car trying to figure out how to hang on. So with that being said, once I can get that remedied and get more situated in the car, I think it'll let me know if I want to stay with this platform. I like the way the car handles. I'm comfortable as far as driving the car. I'm just not comfortable sitting in the car while I'm driving, I guess, if that makes sense. But we got to dig through some tires tomorrow, get some tires changed. We got to figure out some tires this week. And the bash bar, I tried to get it. I heated up the end. It needs to be bent. I think it's going to end up having to be cut apart to fix it where he bent it. So the welds were pretty good. They bent everything, and it didn't, well, it broke 2 welds, but I don't think it would have mattered. I think it would have just bent it up anyway. So I think we're gonna have to cut it apart and rework the whole bash bar on the IS300. So we got to figure out something for this week. I may just cut the top bar loose and just put the bash bar on the front in one piece. Get me a cutoff wheel and just cut that top piece and bolt it on for this week if we go drifting. Or if he wants to drive it on the street, it has to have a bumper, so I may do that. But anyway, there's a lot got to happen this week. I'm still waiting on the head to come back for the Honda. The Miata, we hadn't started it yet. The Subaru, I got to detail it, fix the driver's door. I think it'll be ready to go then. I think I got that figured out. And yeah, we got to continue on with the drift car. We got to get it running, get the fan, make sure the fan's working, top off the fluids. We need to get it cranked. We need to make sure we got all the wheels and tires swapped over. The G35, I've got to put my window motor back in that deal. Yeah, there's a lot to do. I'm leaving. I gotta go get fuel before I go home, and I'm ready to be home. All right, here we go. All right, so one thing we did is we ended up getting some used tires. So we got to looking at, I've got an SC300 at my house, and it's got some 18s on the front of it, I think. So we dug around and we got some used 18s. So we get the two 18s off of the SC300 at the house. We've got two on the back, two extra for my car. I think we'll have enough to go drifting if I can get everything dialed in from that point. Just trying to make sure we got enough tires, or if we're gonna have to order tires, they're all gonna be used tires. So we're just gonna have to work through it, I guess, and maybe we can get it figured out, maybe we don't, I don't know. Maybe it's a little better color. Nope, there we go. So we gotta get everything figured out and try to get everything to where we can go drifting, because this is the big drift weekend, the big track that we went to. You've probably seen that video by now. So we're gonna have some tires, we're gonna have to have our pump sprayer. We keep forgetting that. From some of the guys I've talked to make your tires last even longer, you can take the pump sprayer and spray the back tires in between sessions and make your tires last longer. So that's a good thing if we can get that to work. A lot of guys swear by it. Cool them off before you go another lap. Yeah, so the better we seem to be getting, the more we're going through tires. So we're gonna have to invest in tires or something, or find that perfect tire that lasts forever. So we decided to go ahead and get some used ones. They're different brands, so we might pick a brand out of these that seems to work better if we end up buying some new ones. So if any of these used ones do last better than the other ones, because a couple of them are pretty good. But if we do see a brand that seems to work better, we might just buy that brand, and that way we'll see that it's been lasting longer. But there's some brands, I've researched it, and there's some brands that drift guys say to use, so we're going to start looking at some of those. They are going to be pricey, but it's all pricey. So, but either way, we're going to try to run some used ones best we can, maybe 2 or 4 new ones where we don't have to spend so much. We're trying to figure this out. All right, here we go. All right, so today we're working on the G35. We're going drifting this weekend. This is our weekend to go. I think we've decided we're just going to use some used tires and all that stuff, but having to change the window motor on the G35. Keep my fingers crossed. I've never changed one of these, never worked on them, never seen anybody work on them, and I didn't Google anything. I haven't watched any videos or any of this stuff, so I end up being a little slower, and I don't film everything because a lot of it I just kind of thumb through until I figure it out. So some of it I look absolutely stupid working on it because I don't know, and I'm having to figure it out as I go. And I'm not a trained mechanic, I'm not a certified anything. I work on stuff, I fix it, it works, here we go, kind of thing. And so that's what you're watching, is me figuring out how everything goes. And the thing is, like I'm working on different cars all the time. I don't just work on Hondas. I don't just work on Ford trucks, you know what I mean? It's whatever's wrong with the car is what I gotta fix, or figure out how to fix. So if it's, you know, something newer, I'm probably going to research it a little more. But like a window motor on a G35 06, to me, something of that nature should be pretty straightforward. But yeah, I mean, so kind of keep that in mind. I got some people that want to judge, oh, you didn't do this or you whatever, you know. And I don't tell everything on the camera either. So if I go back and fix something or change something or make something different than it was when I done the video, I may realize I fixed it, but get so busy and I may not go back and film and say that I fixed it or changed it or done anything like that. But these are the videos I shoot. This is what I do. I do this on my off time when, you know, I don't have a rental to work on, and I finance these cars. That's how I make a living. I'm not a mechanic for anybody else. I don't do this. Somebody pulls up here and wants me to work on the car, I'm going to tell them no. So yeah, with that being said, take it with a grain of salt. The cars I work on, if you're a, you know, ace mechanic, been doing it for 20 years, been to school for it, had formal training, yeah, judge me if you want to. But this is the way I grew up. We couldn't afford to pay to have somebody work on our cars. So it was one of those things where if your car broke, it's either fix it or you're walking, you know. So that's kind of the reason that I can fix some things. And, you know, I can do electrical, like, you know, I can do electrical wiring on your house. I can do sheetrock and finish sheetrock. I can, you know, there's all kinds of stuff I can do. You know, I've put convertible tops on cars, which I can do that on that one. I've done a few of them. I can do a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm not extremely proficient in really anything. Kind of, was it the jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. And that would probably be, you know, the best explanation of how I am and what I work on and all that. So, yeah, it's kind of filling you in on, you know, my character and my experiences and all that. I've not been to any ASE certifications and all. I mean, you can go to shops and there's guys working there that don't have any kind of ASE certification or training. So, you know, one of the biggest shops around where I'm at, I know like the lead mechanic has never, even the owner, has never been to school for any kind of formal training. They just grew up around it, you know. And I've known those guys since I was a kid. I grew up around them, you know. So bear with me on some of these projects because I don't know. You know, I have to, when I get so far, if I can't figure it out, I will Google it. You know, I will YouTube and see what, you know, maybe I've missed something or something. And I'll still, you know, may miss something or may not do it 100% correctly, but it, you know, it works. You know, like I did the CNC 71 camber, we call it the angle mods on the IS300. I never watched the video. I mean, and I can see how it went together. The IS300, the rear dual caliper install, I couldn't find a video on it. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know. So it's just one of them things where I can do what I can figure out, and if I can't figure it out, I will YouTube it and all that stuff. So just bear with me on some of these projects because, I mean, there's a lot of this I've never worked, like the Subaru. I've never worked on a EJ25 motor in my life, ever. And I've set the time on it, and I've been driving that car up down the road, you know. I did end up watching a YouTube video on the timing, and I will research, like, torque specs and, you know, different things like that, but, you know, I have to have that information. You have to know the torque specs to torque a head down. But, you know, I didn't, you know, do the best I can with some of this stuff, so bear with me on it. We'll get there. Alright, here we go. Alright, I didn't film a lot of this, really any of it, actually any of it at all, but I'll give you the crash course on what I had to do. So, all the bolts on this panel, all of them except for, you know, minus these two, like, so this piece that sticks out, those two won't have to be pulled. Yeah, all the rest will. The three here, there's three gold ones, that will be the motor itself. So they'll have to come off. There's one at the, let's see here, here. I get you right there. One here that goes to this side regulator, and then there's one inside this thing that takes that side of the regulator loose, and there's one here, and there's one here, and that'll take this side of the regulator loose because there's two sections of it. And then all these green looking deals all the way around come off, and there's three silver screws that hold your latch onto the panel. And then there's like clips on the door, these little clips, and there's a couple of different styles that, you know, it just lock in. But once you get that door panel on, and you have to take this piece off, the actual controller, to fit the plug through, and then there's a light at the very, very bottom, and you'll have to unplug it. So once you put it back on, the motor's pretty straightforward. There's 3 bolts, took it off, unplugged the other one, put it in, bolted it back together, and then went back with my panel. So there's some adjustments in the window motor. This little black thing, it's a rubber thing, and I guess you can hold it in and adjust where the window stops. You can adjust all that once you get the panel on, so you don't have to roll it up and down trying to figure it out until you get it back on, because that falls directly in through that hole, so you can still access it with the panel on. So that way you can don't roll the window up and down with the panel off. Ask me how I know. But the way these 3 bolt the back of the motor, that'll leave that little black rubber button you can depress, and so that way you'll know, that's how you'll know where them go. And then that right there, the little rubber thing, I guess, is for the stop, and so that's how you'll know that you got that correct. And it's pretty straightforward, actually. Wasn't that bad. So again, 3 bolts holding this on, so you don't want to pull that out. And on the front of the door of the panel, there's a bolt here in this piece, and there's a bolt here, and that little cover, wherever it is. Well, the cover to this thing just snaps, it unsnaps from off of there. So this piece that goes here, whichever way, that just snaps in, and there's a bolt at the top and bolt at the bottom, and then you have to clip back on your controls. So it's pretty straightforward. Alright, here we go. Alright, so when you get to this part here, there's screws. You can use a 10mm. This one you're going to have a deep well. And then, so there's one at the top, one near the bottom, and then there will be one inside here and the back. The rest of the door panel has those clips on it. It seems like it's loose. Maybe it ain't long enough. Maybe I might have put the wrong one in the wrong place. Oh, I just wasn't tighten up. Okay. Alright, so then you gotta put your dude on here. Wait, am I facing the wrong way? Yeah. Then get you out. Twist. Oh, we got another wire in the way. That's what's up. So there we go. There it is. And there's clips that just lock in, and like the top of the door has to go over a lip, and then there's clips you have to push the door in to get those clips to latch. And finally, this piece here, which way it goes. sure. There we go. That dude just latches on. So, and you can tell the door's pretty rough. And then there's a little bitty plastic cover for this. And it's got a little tab that goes back in there, I guess, to keep it from, and that way you hide that screw. And that's pretty much it. And there's some clips up here on this, the end piece. I don't know if they're relevant, but those are pretty easy to pop out. Feels pretty solid. Now let's give her the old, see what's happening with it. Let's see what's up with the what up. It's a little slow coming up, it's dragging. Now, the ultimate test here. We got to close it. Oh, see if it will roll itself up once it, and it does. So it's rolling itself up and down as it closes, like the Z cars do. So if you can see right at the top here. Alright, now all we gotta do is clean it, and we ready to go.
I'm feeling high.